technical difficulties. You'll be right there. But if you have your Bibles, you can follow along with us. I'll try to references before I get to them. And thank you for joining us. Thank you all who are here for joining us, and what a privilege it is. It was June 1st, 1995. Skinny kid from Cicero, New York, got on a plane, first plane trip ever, and flew to Chicago. When he got off that plane, he walked out into an entirely new and foreign world. I spent the next 2 months in Navy boot camp, where it seemed people would rather yell at you than talk to you. And you were always in a hurry to get everywhere. You even had to hurry to eat. I was told when to get up, when to go to bed, how long my hair could be, specific inch. And actually, it was even closer than that because we missed it for a lot of people. It was pure indoctrination. It was just indoctrination into the Navy way of life. We learned that to be early and achieve the things that Paul taught them were things that they knew. He'd spent 3 years there ministering to them. If you remember in Acts chapter 20, as he's traveling to Jerusalem for the final time, he stops in Miletus. And he calls the Ephesian elders to him because he'd spent there 3 years. And in Acts 20, verse 27, he reminds them, I did not avoid declaring to you the whole plan of God. He had taught them all of these things before. And then he warns them later with tears. He says, be on the alert, remembering that night and day for 3 years I never stopped warning each of you. My boot camp was only 8 weeks. He'd been with them for 3 years. He taught them all of these things, but it seems that in the intervening years, they had forgotten some of the things he had taught them. In love, he predestined us to adoption as sons through Jesus Christ to himself, according to the kind intention of his will. Ephesians 2, he reminds us again of what our condition was as sinners, of God's awesome work on our behalf for salvation, of the free gift of grace that was given to us through faith. And then he reminds us of our responsibility as humans to perform works performed or prepared for us beforehand. Then at the end of chapter 2, he reminds us that Christ is the cornerstone of the church, and that we're being built on him. In Ephesians 2, verse 19, he says, so then you are no longer strangers and aliens, but you are fellow citizens with the saints and are of God's household, having been built upon the foundation of the apostles and prophets, Christ Jesus himself being the cornerstone.